The performance of a propane vehicle, again, on some vehicles, propane can actually run a little bit better. There's two really big advantages to converting to propane. Number one, the initial cost of the fuel. So even though there's a slight decrease in miles per gallon, when you look at the cost of propane compared to the cost of gasoline, there's a large savings on your fuel costs, and of course the emission savings. That's the biggest single benefit. So the first step you need to do before you convert a vehicle is verify that there's no problems running on the gasoline. So it's very, very critical that you have a good running vehicle. You don't want to try to convert a vehicle that has existing problems. Then it becomes a good, easy installation to convert it to propane. If that's the case, once you begin the propane conversion, it becomes easy. Then the vehicle can actually run better when it switches over to propane in many, many cases. So propane has a lot of advantages, but you have to start with a great running vehicle to begin with. Most engines, again, as long as you're using a high quality EPA certified conversion, a propane conversion kit, the engines can be very reliable. Once again, if the propane install is done correctly, then the engine can even at times become more reliable, especially when it comes to maintenance. The reduced emissions is phenomenal, so it can actually reduce that in some of your oil change intervals and some of your other maintenance issues. So it can actually make it a more reliable engine, again, as long as you have a good kit and a good clean install on a good running engine to begin with. Now the advantages, the big advantage by having the bi-fuel is your range is really long because you can run it on propane. You're not going to have the range anxiety because if you run out of propane, you're at a place where you can't get propane Autogas. It's automatically going to switch over to the gasoline, or if you're a little bit nervous, you can manually shut off the propane system and switch it over to the gasoline. So again, a great advantage is the range. The performance is about the same, hardly noticeable. Can vary a little bit from vehicle to vehicle. Probably the hardest part's going to be installing the tank, the brackets for the tank, where the tank's going to be located. Typically, I would say on average, maybe a day. Some vehicles, and if you go to a repair facility that does it a lot and has a lot of experience on your particular vehicle, it might be done in a half of a day or even less. It depends upon the experience of who's doing the conversion and the access to the engine to install the injectors, the regulator, the lines, and especially the tank. You're going to get substantially cleaner on things like an F-150, which is one of our converted vehicles, but especially on a class 4 through 7. Great emission savings, phenomenal reductions of NOx. So there's really a lot of advantages. Again, reliability, but again, the propane costs so much less per gallon, the maintenance is less, and the emissions, the reduction in emissions are great.